Hey again, friends. It is another end of the year video here from Big Dub, another top 10 wrap up year in review type of video. Hope that you all, if you're watching this today, it comes out, had a great Christmas yesterday, or whether you celebrate Christmas or Kwanzaa or Diwali or Hanukkah, whatever it is that you may celebrate, or nothing at all, that you've had or are having or enjoying or look to enjoy a really good holiday time. I also hope you enjoyed the Christmas special the last 2 days, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, the return of OG Geek to YouTube on the channel. It was good to hang out with Mike for a couple days there. It was very impromptu, didn't know it was happening, and he was up here and we made it work. So, had a lot of fun. But that's not what you're here for. Certainly go back and watch those vlogs if you're interested. We're here for a new top 10 video and my 10 favorite somethings of the year in the action figure world. And today we're doing 6 scale. I'm also kind of lumping in statues and other like non-scale stuff that doesn't fit in another category. So it's almost like a premium category. And it's a top 10, and there are not that many purchases that were made in this category. In fact, only 15 total candidates. I have cut way back on the 6 scale in the statue game. Really, I've cut way back on the things that are $200 or more game, more than anything. So in this, there are 11 6 scale pieces that were candidates, 3 statues, and then 1 kind of non-scale-y thing that fits in this as well. And it's because it couldn't really not ever be in any type of scale. And I picked my 10 favorite. So here we go. And this list will probably be, I may not have as much to talk about a lot of these, because honestly it hasn't been a great year in 6 scale. And I collect pretty niche 6 scale stuff, so a lot of it may be familiar. But we'll start off from The Walking Dead, and that is 3-0 Maggie. I think 3-0 is probably the 6 scale company I'm buying the most of right now. I do currently still have all of the Walking Dead line and the Game of Thrones line. There is a Rick coming out I do not have on pre-order. In fact, I have 0 6 scale figures on pre-order for whatever that's worth. But this Maggie figure is actually really nice. I think they did a decent job on the likeness. That's never the strong suit of 3-0, but it has a lot of the like her clothing is really nice. The big rifle that she comes with is really good. And Maggie's a very important character to The Walking Dead. So the fact that they did not have her was a needed character. So happy to add her to the Walking Dead shelf. Coming in number 9, and this is actually also 3-0, a line that I think doesn't get enough love, and that's 3-0 Roadblock from G.I. Joe. 3-0 G.I. Joe line is fun. I thought I was not going to buy anymore. I did not pre-order Firefly. But then they just showed off a Cobra Commander and Destro, I think. I'm tempted to go back in. It's like, how many different ways do I need to collect G.I. Joe? I've got 6 scale through 3-0. I've got Super 7 Ultimates. I've got G.I. Joe Classified. Like, how many different ways? And I got Mezco. How many different ways do I need to collect G.I. Joe? I was asking myself that about Ninja Turtles 4 or 5 years ago, and here we are where I collect Ninja Turtles a million different ways. I want to try to stop doing that with G.I. Joe. But this figure's awesome. It has this huge, like the Ma Dukes gun. I think the head sculpt is good. I think that they've been doing really good on the G.I. Joe line, and I think I might get back into it. But it's a good figure. Definitely one I would recommend if you're into G.I. Joe. Number 8, back to The Walking Dead, another big character that they needed to fill in, 3-0 Governor figure. Now, this one I like a lot. The Governor is such a iconic character in The Walking Dead, and also a character that probably made a lot of people leave the show. But the comic, definitely. He's much more menacing and evil in the comic. Some of the stuff he does in the comic, you just couldn't do on TV. Even though they did the things with Negan, I think this is a bit more graphic in some challenging areas. But this figure came out good, the eye patch and everything else, and the knife and all of that. I think it's a good figure. Again, all these 3-0 figures are like in the 150-ish price range, so really good for a 6 scale figure. Coming in at number 7, this is the one non-scale figure, and it is from Asmus, and it is the Balrog. This is great. I don't know what I would call this. It's not really a statue from the perspective of it's not like it has a little bit of movement. So I mean, maybe it's a statue, but Asmus made it. It's like a vinyl, like a hollow vinyl. The way that you're seeing like Safubi type thing that you're seeing big characters get made from, like the Super 7 Cyborg figures. It's like a hollow vinyl. It looks great. It's very big. It's got the huge flame whip. It's just not in scale with anything. I mean, how do you make that Balrog ever in scale? When you think about he towers over Gandalf, even in like 12 scale, that thing would be massive. It'd be 3 or 4 feet. But I'm happy to have a Balrog on my shelf. There's that big, I think it's Prime 1, that makes a really nice Gandalf versus the Balrog statue. I've always thought about getting. But this is cool. It doesn't really articulate. I think it does have a little bit of movement. So I don't know what it is, but it's cool. And I like it, from Lord of the Rings. Coming in at number 109,876. We go back to 3-0. This is a 6-scale figure. I think the only Game of Thrones released this year, and that is the Season 7 version of the Hound. This is really good. I think the texture on the face is good. The clothing is good. He comes with cool weapons. He doesn't have like his Hound helmet. And I have the original Hound version. The original releases of the 3-0 Game of Thrones also had, like, if you ordered directly from 3-0, you got a special item. And that's how you got the Hound helmet. And I don't have that version, and it makes me sad. But this is this is much better than the original release of Hound. And again, this is when I mean, I won't talk about it because it's a lot of Game of Thrones spoilers, but it's, unusual that you get an appearance from Hound at this point in the season. And he's pretty iconic through the end of the show. So glad to have that. Let's move ahead to number 5. And I think once we get to 5, these are now tick up a little bit in terms of quality, in my opinion. Number 5 is the Asmus Gollum / Smeagol. This thing is incredible. It is so real looking. It has seamless joints all over. For some reason, it has a fully articulated situation underneath the loincloth, if you know what I mean. I don't know why they decided to... not fully articulated. That's not right. Well, it may be. I didn't touch it. But fully sculpted. Not articulated. It's there. The action's there. That's the thing you want to see. I don't know why it's there, but it is. But the eyes on Gollum look so good. If you bought the deluxe version, you got 2. You got one where you could have him like, or he's Gollum, and then one where he's more innocent, when he's like Smeagol, and it's 2 different head sculpts. Brilliant. Beautiful, beautiful item. It's just great. It's gorgeous, truly. I don't have anything negative to say about it. I think maybe a little bit expensive if you wanted both versions, but you're getting 2 figures, so it's really nice. Let's move to number 4. And now we go to a statue. It's from Iron Studios, Lord of the Rings. We continue, and that is the Saruman statue. So I think this is very nice. It has a nice base with like his Palantir. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I guess I'm just going to show it to you in pictures, so I don't have to pull it up. The Iron Studios Lord of the Rings line is the only line that I am continuing to pick up. I've not picked up any more Marvel or DC. I decided not to pick up the Ninja Turtles, even though I had them on pre-order. I canceled them. But this is really nice, where it's like he's up on the top of his tower, and he's got his staff, and he's ready to summon the Uruk-hai. And I think this looks really nice. And I think it's the only. I have a really bad Asmus Saruman from like the early days of that company, and that's all I have for Saruman, I think. So that's a really nice statue. Moving to number 3, the only Hot Toys appearance. I did buy one single Hot Toy this year, and that's the first Hot Toy I've bought in several years. And it's the Hot Toys Power Pose King Shark. I just love it. I love the sly King Shark from the second Suicide Squad movie in hand. I just love it. I love it. I have the Beast Kingdom. That didn't make any list, but I did get that. It's pretty cool. I have the Iron Studios, and now I have the Hot Toys. We've got artwork of it. I just love it. This is Power Pose. It's not super articulated, but I also don't know how you would make this thing super articulated and like keep the aesthetic of a chubby, overweight, dad bod shark. Nor do I think it needs to be articulated. I think it's great. It has enough articulation to do what you want it to do the hand and all of that. I just think he looks awesome. And it's a personal choice. I just love it. I love it. Number 2, we go back to Iron Studios Lord of the Rings, and it is the newest thing I think I've got from them, which is the Sauron statue. And it's huge. He's almost on top, like crushing a castle, and the detail work on the base is so nice. I don't know that he's considered to be in scale with some of the other Lord of the Rings Iron Studio stuff, nor do I know that I care about that. He just looks really nice. He's got his mace. The paintwork is exceptional. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful statue. I'm happy to have it. It was not cheap, but I'm happy to have it. I have quite a few. I have some ring wraiths. I have the Witch King. I have the Fell Beast. I have quite a few of the forces of Sauron, so to add Sauron was really good. And now we go to our number 1 of our 6-scale statue premium whatever category, and that is Asmus Lord of the Rings, as quite a number of these high ones were. It is Gandalf the White with Shadowfax. This was an expensive item. A lot of the body and the clothing, it potentially is a re-release, but the head sculpt is remarkably good. I think it's similar to the Gandalf the Grey Crown Collection head sculpt, has rooted hair and all of that, which I think is gorgeous. I know In Art is making these Gandalf and Lord of the Rings figures now. Asmus may not make any more Lord of the Rings. I don't know. And the In Art stuff looks amazing, but they're $500-$600, something like that. This, I think, was a great piece. This Gandalf the White. The only one Gandalf the White I had was horrendous from the early days of Asmus. You can buy the head sculpt to put on that old one if you want to, but the horse Shadowfax, it's just a static piece. It's like a statue, but it looks so good. It looks so real. The eyes look real. I'm not sure if it's a statue like properly the way you define a statue. They did a tremendous job, but it's in scale for 6 scale. You could have Gandalf ride it. I have him kind of standing beside it. I think it's beautiful, and it really, like, when I opened it, I was amazed at how nice it was, and it really made me feel like I was looking at Shadowfax, which is really cool. A big Lord of the Rings fan, obviously. So, not a huge category for me this year, and a category I expect to maybe not even be on the list next year, because I currently have a few Iron Studios. I have Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin, and I think that's it, pre-ordered. Anything in this category. That's a category I'm trying to kind of work my way out of. So, years past, certainly I would have picked up 60 Hot Toys in a year, 80 Hot Toys in a year. This would be very different. But for this year, I still wanted to call it out. I wanted to make sure. I thought about lumping it in with something else. But how do you compare like that Gandalf with Shadowfax to a Hasbro Blob? Like, how do you? They're not comparable. They're not the same thing. Not comparable items. So I gave it its own category. Hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed putting it together. What we're going to do next, tomorrow, I think will be Super 7. So join us. Continue to enjoy. Hopefully you've got some time off and you're enjoying your holiday. Working toward a new year. So I'll talk to you tomorrow on the next video. Squeeze it.